And we're rolling. Hello, hello, hello. It's another Saturday of code. Learning Go. Oh, it's bright here in Seattle. You can see the glow on my face. I don't even have any lights on. It's just like a little bit of the blinds blinding me. Um, got a bunch of stuff going on today. I don't even really know where to start. But I have noticed that I have no monitor on my sound, so I have no idea what you're hearing. I am assuming that, I'm just going to do it this way. Taking off my headphones. Just not going to use that today. I'm going to try it without it this time. So I got my mic here set up. Headphones are gone. And I'm kind of curious, like, this way does the mic pick up the music? I don't know, it might not be the best thing to do. Let me actually rethink that. So yeah, as I continue to get set up here, which is my normal tradition really, I have a few things. Well, at least the headphones are working now, so that's good. Got a few things we're going to be covering today, and I have written them down because I knew that it's important to remain fucking brilliant as possible. So the first things that I wanted to remember to tell everybody include, oh yes, I did get the book this time, so as with most of these sessions, I'm using this as a book to kind of lead the direction through what I'm covering, right? And this time, we're actually on chapter 11. We're going to be talking about testing. Testing. Important stuff. And one of the things I would like to do in this session also, besides just blindly digging into the testing in the book, is to actually hit on a few other things, like diving into some testing libraries that offer additional types of syntax to write tests with. Because one thing I've found coming from a very polyglot background is that writing tests in Go, it's kind of a little, the syntax is a little wanting. It doesn't really tell you what you're testing or what you're doing. You're following a convention, and you really got to kind of understand what's in the code base. And often I like to be able to look at tests and have tests tell me what I have, like what project or what code am I actually looking at. So join me, my cup of coffee, and that's what we're going to get into today. Oh, wow. That is hot as hell still. Alright. Where to start? That's kind of the question. So much to do, so much to cover. So, first things first. Let's make sure we're all booted up right. Get our machine here up and running. There we go. That looks good. So, let's note up let's write a set of notes on what we want to cover today. So first off, we're going to tackle Go testing. That's our number one. Let's see here. Today's goals. Go testing. Cover additional libraries that make Go testing easier and a bit more readable, or at least adds options to do so. And this is going to be about testing, but also the key things that come along with testing, right? Go doesn't just offer an out-of-the-box testing, it also offers a structure around doing benchmarks and tests, kind of with the same notion of the build up and build down cycle of testing with Go. So I'm going to actually put testing, benchmarks, and examples, and we'll look at those and you'll see what I'm talking about. In the past sessions, also this is the first of a different type of Go learning session. I'm gonna say, or call it out, because in the previous sessions, one of the things that we did was primarily cover like the control structure, the interfaces, the data types that you can use in Go. So now we're at the point where things are going to totally change. We have enough of the construction of Go under our belt with these sessions that we're going to start diving more into basically what we really want to do with Go. And this testing is one of the first steps into that, but it's also kind of the last of the previous ones where it's all about the control structures, the types, the actual skeleton and mindset and ideology of how you write Go and why you write Go the way you do. So now as we dig in deeper, it's gonna get more interesting. And I opened this and this, and I just realized I didn't actually want to do that. Let's save this and get our notes into a better file here. We're going to use code because it's way better for doing notes. And also, as always, I like to make things readable. So now we're readable here. So I'm also going to take notes about testing libraries and such here. So when we dig into those in a little bit, we'll have the notes here. Now after this session too, I intend to do some more work today. I've been looking into a migration library that's written in Go, and it covers Apache Cassandra and CQL, and then a lot of the SQL variants around Postgres, MySQL, Oracle, and some other crap. And there's two things that I want in the library. They're mostly there. Twitter buddy pointed them out to me. Let's see if we can actually go look at them real quick, and just to get an idea of what we're going to tackle later today. Come on, Chrome, open up. You can do it. So if we go out here and look at my Twitters, get out of here, log in. There we go. All right, so somewhere here, this one. So there's Cassandra migration, and then I followed up with this one. Anybody curious about migrations? And Carl posted this, which is the library that I've been looking at, and then also mentioned, oh, this may actually be a solution to my problem. Make it behaves. And somewhere somebody is already working on adding the MS SQL support that I want too. So I'm thinking about diving in there and seeing if I can't merge that with master trunk and see where we can get with it. So this is the library for migrations. We'll dig into that. And yeah, fix SSL handling for Cassandra driver. So I'm betting this is probably what my problem is, because I have with setting SSL mode, no verify. Ah, yeah, because I had it turned off, but I think it doesn't need to go through whatever the process it is that it's going through to try to authenticate. So scroll back up here. It looks like good stuff. But let's get into Go testing. So as usual, we're going to bounce into GoLand and get a repo started. And I'm also going to get out here and get everybody into the big screen. Boom. So now y'all can see everything. And NyanCat is running hurriedly to open up the previous code bits, which we don't actually want. Let's do a new project. And we're going to call this Learning Go Episode 8. And yeah, that should work. This window, please close Episode 7. There we go. And right off the bat, I'm going to get started. Let's see here. Let's actually do it this way. And what is authenticated GitHub already? I don't want to go through that two-factor auth 2 times in a row, so let's try this. Yeah. So I'm going to create a new repo, and this time, unlike every other last time, Learning Go Episode 8, and then Tackling Testing. This time I'm going to initialize the repo, add a gitignore file from here. Last time we've manually created the gitignore file a few times, and we've also been using the GoLand feature where it lets you go in and actually pick the type of gitignore file, which I believe uses the same libraries right here. So I'm going to create that repository. It'll now have the license in it and the gitignore file with all this cruft. So with that, let's add this repo, and then, oops, get out of there. Get remote view. We're not connected to anything. Haven't even started it as a repo. So let's get init, and then we'll say get remote add origin. Did I already? Oh yeah, there we go. Thought I cleared my cache for copy and paste for a second. All right, so that's cleared. Now we can do git pull origin master, I believe. No, let's do git pull origin master. There we go. So note the -u that we usually do to start a repo when we push it the first time. If it's already created, you don't have to do that. You just need to pull, and it's going to pull it down, and then it's going to go branch to master, fetch head, new branch master, origin master to the local machine. So we should be mapped accordingly now. So if we get status, we're on master, IDEA is there, and we don't want that. That's the GoLand IDE settings and configuration. I use a remote sync for that. So let's get in here, and first thing we'll do is actually add that. Yeah. Hey, green dog. Oh, wow. Kick ass, my friend. Thank you for the sub. I greatly appreciate that. Alright, so we have our gitignore now. And a new sub. Yeah, I know. The earbuds nailed me. I gotta figure out how to turn that down a little bit. But it's also supposed to be kind of startling. It's metal. So yeah, let's hear it. We got the gitignore. But yeah, gitignore license It's all good. So that's our Apache 2.0 license and our README, which just says what we're doing. So what do we need now? Well, I think we need a code file. So let's go ahead and get a main in here. Go ahead and add that to the repo, and then let's get a git status on that. All right, so put the main there. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, like, that was loud, and how do I regulate that per OBS? I don't even actually know now that I think about it, because that's a stream elements thing, and then stuff to figure out later. But anyway, okay, so we got a package main. Let's just print something out like we always do, just to, you know, say hey yo, and get a good build, and we'll add the little build to the IDE. So go build. We want to build the package, and boom, debug it. And as always, I have left the title obscenely huge, and I don't want that, so I'm going to just say go build and run. There we go. So that looks a little better up there. Heyo, looks all good. So let's get these things added. So IDEA I took out, so we should just have our first commit of stuff, which will include our git file. I mean our Go file. So git add everything, git commit, first commit, boom, and then I'm gonna push that up there. Oh, whoops. Because we created it through GitHub and then pulled the stuff down, we do need to set the upstream to origin master so that it is synchronized between this branch on the machine and the remote branch out on GitHub. So we're going to do git push set upstream origin master. So that'll run, and we're all set now. So now it's tracking with the remote branch appropriately to the actual branch and repo as we would expect, and now can do git push, and we can do git pull as needed. So boom. Of course everything's up to date, but I just typed it just for reference. So clear that out. And then let's get into what we're gonna do. What we can do? We're gonna do just have random hard drives sitting around. So my book just fell on the ground. I love it when that happens. It's fucking brilliant. And where did that chapter go? There we go. All right, so I'm gonna share a thing with everybody real quick. I just want to share this one story with you from the book. Okay, so again, this is the book, The Go Programming Language, with Donovan and Kernighan. That's Alan A.A. Donovan and Brian W. Kernighan, right? So I'm just using this book mostly as kind of a pathway to Go, but there's a few little things I like to point out in it, and it's a great reference book, so I highly suggest go pick it up. It's probably the best learning Go book and Go reference book out there to get started with. It's going to need an update soon, especially with like Go 1. Whatever, where modules are being implemented and stuff like that. But for now, it's still pretty much the de facto getting started book if you want to learn Go. And a lot of the things throughout these sessions that I've provided, all from the book, but I've added a lot on top of it, so it's not just the book. Anyway, the little story here, it kicks off this testing chapter. Maurice Wilkes, the developer of EDSAC at SAC, the first stored program computer, had a startling insight while climbing the stairs of his laboratory in 1949. So way back in, like, computing prehistory. In Memoirs of a Computer Pioneer, he recalled the realization came over me with full force that a good part of the remainder of my life was going to be spent finding errors in computer programs, specifically his own computer programs. Surely every programmer of a stored program computer since then can sympathize with Wilkes, though perhaps not without some bemusement as his navet about the difficulties of software construction. Whew! What a moment, right? You've just written the first stored program, executed it, and then pondered, oh dear Lord, I have opened up Pandora's box. Everybody is now going to be spending the majority of their programming life debugging stuff, probably. Which could be argued as truth, right? Because holy shit, do we all spend a lot of time debugging stuff. But let's not debug anything right now. Let's just write some code so we can debug. All right. A few things to note about Go testing, which is pretty weird. And I wrote a little checklist to make sure I remembered. One of the first things is, I always forget to mention this, people, is when you're doing this, you got to use the naming conventions, just like so many things in Go's, just like the yeah, same with me, Greendale. When I read that the first time, I was like, oh, on point, straight punch to the face, ouch, that hurts. But yeah, debugging all day long. I've probably spent at least as much, if not more, time debugging code and testing code than I have actually executing the programs I write. But then, of course, I guess that works out, right? I write programs for other people, just like most of us software developers write programs for other people. So hopefully, we're spending all that debugging time to save that time for all the people that use our programs. Cross our fingers, right? You got to do that. Live long, prosper, cross your fingers. Don't, push unwanted wastes of time to other people. So that's what I always hope. So all that debugging time, totally worth it to prevent other people from having to do a bunch of arbitrary crap. So first things first with Go testing. The file that you set up for Go testing is file name, whatever, usually named after the file that you're going to write the test for, underscore test.go. Okay? That's just the way it is, period. Don't think about it too much. Just know that that is what it is. Just like when we start writing tests, tests start with the word test. So, let's see here. Where do we start? Let's get back to the desktop here, and we shall create a new directory. And we're going to go directly with the example from the book here. Just call it Word. It's going to be the directory name. And then in that, I'm going to go with Go file and call it Word. Go with empty file, just like that. Add it, yes please. And we'll go ahead and add the test file, like so. And this is how it's done in Go. You just add that file right beside wherever it is the other file is. It's going to have the code that you're going to write the test for. In other languages, this would not particularly be the way that you do it. Like in C#, you create a project that tests the other project with code, etc. You map it that way. I believe in Java it's generally kind of the same. In Ruby, sometimes I've seen people actually write tests right with the method, right beside the method that it's going to test. That's not how this is going to work here. But technically, with Go, it kind of is like you're doing that. If you're putting in another file, we're still in the same package, right? So here's Word, here's Word. Where it's declared doesn't really matter. It's kind of like we're writing it one-to-one, but we do it with the file so that the Go build tools know that when you type in Go test, it knows which files to look at. So it takes all those, builds them, puts all that together, executes it, verifies the test, and then boom, rips it all apart, destroys it, and gets rid of it all, right? So it's kind of the same with build, except the specific thing is it goes through and it ignores all those test files, it builds all the other stuff, and makes it executable out of that. So one of the beautiful things about Go is it takes what it needs for the build, or for the test, or for the benchmark, or for the examples, and only works with that stuff based on this convention. And it really creates an environment too where we kind of have to be responsible coders as Go programmers, because if you name it wrong, it just ain't gonna work, period. It really extends past just merely the code being written right. Oh, Rust is the same. Oh, yes, yeah, so it does side-by-side tests too. I mean, really, we're doing the same thing, except it's done according to it at a file level instead of right beside each other. But really, the package is right there beside each other. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of writing the test right beside the method, because I like to kind of separate those two things. And if I just want to read through the method, I just want to read through or not the methods, but the code structure, I just want to read through the code structure. And if I want to look at tests, I want to look at the tests. But I guess there's also some advantages to having Rust have it side by side like that, because then you know for sure, just eyeballing it, yep, this method's covered, or this function is covered, and this one's not, right? All right, so we got our package set up. And then we're gonna go with is palindrome. So func is palindrome s string. We're gonna return a bool. Boom, that's gonna be our first one. So put a return true down here for the moment. And then we're also gonna bump out here and just look up this real quick. Because seriously, does everybody always remember what a palindrome is? No. Alright, a word, phrase, or sequence that reads the same backwards as it does forward. Haha, this is so funny. We have a word for that nonsense. So, awesome. Examples are madam or nurses run. So 2 words makes palindrome, right? Weird stuff, but good stuff. Oh, and of course there's a website for it, right? A but tuba. A car, a man, a maraca. Oh wow, that's pretty epic. A dog, a plan, a canal, pagoda. Wow, these are nuts. We're gonna keep these out though, because we might use them in our code. A slut nixes sex in Tulsa. Wow. Seems like a true statement, I guess. A Toyota, race fast, safe car, a Toyota. A Toyota's a Toyota. Whoa, these are blowing my mind. Cool. A signal ratio and source code, and I also tend to ham on tests, and I don't want my source files to be more tests than source. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Green Dog. Alright, so for I is equal to range S, we're going to say if I is not equal to S length S dash 1 dash I, not dash, minus 1 minus I, reading stuff weird. There we go. Then return false. Alright, so pretty wicked simple code, honestly, when you think about it this way. So note, not called. That's why it's grayed out, right? I would have to go into main and say, let's see here, format.print. Is it a palindrome? And then we'll do, what is going format string verb for bool. There we go. So full. Oh, %T. Okay. %T. We'll put a period after it, just to make it kind of like fancy official. And then we'll do, what is it? Word dot is palindrome. There we go. And let's just add something in there right now. We'll put heyo in there. Actually, let's make it a little bit more coordinated. We'll create a variable and put it in the variable. Var a palindrome is equal to heyo. So now, if we go back and look at Word, we'll see that it's neon green based on our color coding. And morning, Lily. It's going pretty good so far. We are diving into testing in Go. And we learned that my volume is crazy AF, as Greendorf discovered when somebody subs or follows right now. I still am trying to figure out the whole volume thing. I've also burnt myself with my coffee. That's not completely abnormal either. And we started off by creating basically a simple main. We got it put up in a Git repo, like I always do on these sessions for Learning Go. And then, for alerts. Yeah, the crazy thing is I'm rocking earbuds, so you know, I experience all the loudness, metal, and pain that everybody on the channel does. So, y'all are not alone. Dude, that's what I'm missing. Good. Oh, yeah, get some coffee. Don't forget the coffee. It's Saturday, but still, coffee, 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 coffee. So we created a Word package, basically a thing to test, and then we created our first test file. And I created this func. Then I'm calling it from here just to have a working like in code example. And then let's run that, and we say, hey, is it a palindrome? False. So that is correct. It is not a palindrome. And we also just found some crazy palindromes over here, like a Santa at NASA. So if I take that, and let's put that one in. Actually, let's see what else we got here. A tin mug for a jar of gum, Nita. Acrobats stab orca. That sounds horrible. Air and aria. Amore Roma. Amy Mastajitsutsu my ma. So funny. And I vote more cars race Rome to Vienna. Oh, I like this one. Leaf you. Yes. That's perfect. That's epic. Let's go with that one. Throw that one in there. I wonder if the commas are valid for that too. Let's run it and see. No, I don't think so. Whoops, wrong word. And maybe have to do this. Save it, run it. What do we get? What are we? Well, I'm just gonna go with the shorter one. I don't feel like fixing that by eyeballing it. I am not using my earbud mic. I am using a Apogee mic. This thing, which is dramatically better than the crappy one in the computer. I do see it going yellow a little bit. I hope it's not tweaking. Let me know if it's tweaking. Because the one thing I do not actually hear is my voice coming back to me. I do hear everything else. The music, the loud as hell follows and subs, and all that kind of jazz. So, I don't really like to... I hear myself talk anyway. My voice is right here with me. So, I just stick to that. Let's see here. Did that say false too? What hell? Just go with this. Oh, that says true. Oh, is it dorking up on spaces though? We'll just go with, this is just palindromes for single words then. Maybe we'll come back and tweak it for the longer stuff. Alright, so we have that calling. We have it running in the main, but we want to write a test. Okay, because we can't always just run code all the time and just assume all of these things. We want to write tests and prove out that something is really working at a more modular, specific domain level execution. So with this, we are going to add the test. First thing we want to do is import testing, like so. Now, I'm not going to, because I'm using this IDE that when I write func test palindrome and then add this right here, test pointer to testing.t, like so, and then I add this, and boom, it adds testing for me. So love that. Another convention for Go, when you write it, you put test uppercase in front of the name of the func that is going to be the test for the function back in the regular package file. So it says is palindrome, we're going to say test palindrome. And then we're going to write another one and we'll say func test non palindrome t pointer testing t braces. Let's see here, if is palindrome, and we'll put in what, we'll just say chicken. We know that's not a palindrome. And then we t.error, so that's testing.error basically, and then say is palindrome equals true. All right, and then up here we want to say if it's not is palindrome wow, what a word, detartrated. Is that a word? I don't know, that's in the book. So t.error is palindrome kayak equals false. Wait, I put kayak, oh wait. Oh, I was writing the wrong thing. So let's see, whoops. Detartrated. There we go. Palindrome. Alright. Oh, what is that face? Dan's game. Okay, noted. So and then we have one for, well, I don't want utility here, I want that. This one's going to be kayak. Right? Yes, yes, and yes. Chicken should go here, like so. Now, notice a few things. I'm going to go through here and be pedantic. Alright, so right off the bat, we got test palindrome and test non-palindrome. Okay, so those are pretty self-explanatory. One, we're going to test to see palindromes that are palindromes. And then in the other one, we're going to test one that's not to prove out that it is indeed not. So, in that first bit though, as you see, if not is palindrome, detartrated, and then the second one is kayak. And then it says t.error, and then it just has like the code pasted into there, right? I'm not a big fan of putting it in there like that. Like, what does this mean to me? It's just telling me that it's true or false, that the code is true or false based on the test is true or false, but not that the code is really logically executing or what the code really is. Palindrome, the word being in the function, is a little explanatory, but basically the t.error, that just seems uninformative versus some of the other testing methods. So we'll look at some of those other ones later, but it's just one of the things I wanted to call out. It seems a little weird, you know? So now let's go in here and yeah, we'll do it this way first. So we're gonna go test and then test package, go test. You can see go bench, go check, go test, apply, okay. And then, oh, yeah, I still don't really like that big title, so let's just go test. There we go. So now I'm going to debug it. Put a debug stop in there and run that sucker. And then maybe I need to do, what's it saying? Cannot find go test files and go. Da, 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 da. Oh, I need to do. Hey, Shane B. Davis. Welcome to the pit. Just writing some Go today. Is that gonna work? Continue anyway. Oh, phooey. What is the? Let's hear. Golang test all files in directory. So the other question is, with this, we'll work through this, get this figured out, but working directory, so I did package. So maybe if I do directory, like that. Cannot find, can't find the working directory. Maybe we'll just do that and run that. Go test directory file. So let me select the particular file, probably so. So let's do this. Actually, let's go to the terminal. All right, we're gonna skip the fancy IDE way to do it for the moment, and let's just run go test, and we'll see there. And it'll come back and it says no test files, right? Because we have it in the package directory there. So the way to fix that, though, is, I'll bet this does it. Yeah, so we need to do this. Yes. So do go test dot slash dot dot dot. There we go. All right, so now we got an OK. There's no test files in the root, but there is in the directory. So let's go and try to do this bit again. Directory. I'm gonna do this. Can I put it in there? Oh, let's look that up. Golang test all files in directory. Trips, go tip of the day, running test for all subcaches recursively, da 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 da. Probably the same thing here. Go test. Yep, okay. Go test food, should run all tests. Ah, it's probably just, I need to have just that, I bet. Maybe. Maybe. We shall see. Oh, let's package pattern. Oh, maybe that. Not on working directory. What did that do? Could not launch process. Oh wow, that's even worse. Pattern? Well, that seems right. Maybe we do it here. Pop. Does that give us the same explosion? Directory, maybe that is what we want. Can't. Why is the directory even there if you can't run a test on it? Vendor directory. Go test, go list, rep, vendor. Oh. This actually brings up a really good point too. So if we add a dependency, we'll want to skip the vendor directory, even though they all should pass to if they've written code accordingly. But you don't always want to execute everybody else's dependency code stuff. These packages you want to test, recursively you need to. Okay. Root folder, do this. All right. This one points out since this is a common packages option, it also works with other Go commands like go vet, go format, and what about go test ... That one will run tests on all packages below the go path. That's pretty crazy. Let's see here. Go lan, go test. Yeah, there we go. Go test. Test runner tab. Coming test, no test file. How to run test case on a specific file. Let's see what these say. Oh, look at that one. That's fancy pants. All right. What do they say here? You ready to test by creating the file name. Oh, they're not even using the right convention, I guess. Then here is the Golan help. Creating and running go test. Alright, did that. We are in this point, generate test. Oh, you can generate test? That's pretty cool. Oh, and that's super cool too. Create a run debug configuration for Go test. Run is Go test framework. If you want to create other than plain unit test configuration, select either Go check or Go bench. Pattern, use this field to filter whatever test to run. If sets dash run parameter to Go test, the field is empty, filters Go tool arguments. I don't know if that's Okay. All that is for the runner. Let's just try some of the other settings then. Oh no, I lost my mouse, y'all. That's brutal. I'm gonna pause the machine for a second. That usually fixes it. In the meantime, I am going to enjoy some coffee with everybody here. How's the music level? You doing all right there? So the screen all grayed out like that looks pretty cool on the display there. I could dig it. Alright now. Come on back. Let me click on the darn interface. Alright, do I have my mouse back? Oh, that looks good. Okay. What is the deal? Oh, is it just the IDE that's flaking out? Yep, I do. Oh, weird. Yeah, I still can't get it into the IDEs here. Alright, let me just reboot the VM real quick. So we'll be back real quick here. Don't worry. The stream isn't even gonna stop. It's just a VM reboot. Bloop, bloop, bloop. All right, there we go. This will take just a few seconds. I don't know. I've been losing my mouse every once in a while. I started implementing with bidirectional on the virtual machine, and I don't know. After an hour or two, sometimes the mouse can't click in anything. It drives me nuts. But it appears to be a VM related problem, not particularly a machine related problem. Alright, come on, reboot faster. Put. So if you're in Seattle or you're in Portland, some of the things that are coming up that are going to be super cool are there's a meetup coming up in Seattle week after this one coming. So the 18th or 19th, whatever the Tuesday is. I'm going to be doing a data grip session, and also we've got Richard Seroter coming out that's going to be talking about the licensing craziness with like Redis and a bunch of the other databases where they're trying to kind of fight back against basically not making any money on AWS or Azure or GCP, just kind of yanking the code and implementing a whole service and just running the service without contributing back to the particular database solution or whatever. This is a thing that's happened over and over, where they just go and because AWS or Microsoft has the development muscle, they go in and they just rebuild a whole thing, deploy their own version, and like either make it way cheaper or something like that, undercut the market, you know, normal competitive market situation. And it in some cases effectively destroys whatever other option there was. Like Microsoft was notorious in the 80s and 90s for doing this, where they would buy a company and either just close the company and build the product they wanted, or maybe not even build the product they wanted, or they would do something like, well, what they did with Hyper-V, for instance. They bought Hyper-V, and then for like 10 years or something, did not touch the code base barely, except for a few bugs here and there. And it fell way, way behind. And AWS is kind of doing the same thing with some of these databases and just taking it out of the community and then tossing back some arbitrary service thing, which enterprises, of course, are like, oh yeah, that's great, I'll just run with that. And this stupid, my VM is still just like busted. So I'll just hard boot it. Something must have crashed on it. Don't worry. I'm sure it'll be back faster than we can blink. And you won't have to listen to me talk about the history of Microsoft. But you get the idea. That's what that meetup's going to be about. And then, starting in April, I'm going to start doing a Portland thing again, where, yes, I will. I'm actually trying to get that right now, but I'm typing and trying to point and talk at the same time. It's very difficult. But yeah, there's another one in Portland too. Kicking off in April. I don't have the link for it yet because we haven't set the exact date. But it'll be somewhere in the city of Portland, and it's going to be, again, hacking some pretty cool data grip stuff, doing some Apache Cassandra, and we'll also have a speaker and do whatever else comes up. But let's hear. All right, so here is a link to the Seattle meetup, and I'll just pull up Goland and Chromium real quick. Machine. The meetup group in Portland, if you want to join it, is, so let me find it. Here it is. Distributed Systems Op and Dev Meetup. There you go. Yeah, it looks like we can run this sucker again. And here, we'll just look at these real quick. Meetup call out. So there's one coming up here in Seattle. That's going to be super cool. Also, we'll stream it here on Twitch. But you know, if you come live, you get food, drinks. We always go afterwards. And then, you know, you get to enjoy talking to the speaker and all that kind of good jazz and networking and all that. So there's that one. And then the other meetup is the Distributed Systems Op and Dev meetup in Portland. And that one we'll post there soon. Oh, look, we have introduction stuff. So yeah, join us. Be great meetups. We aim to always afterwards go have some like dinner, a round of drinks, you know, good casual conversation, kind of laid back environment. Not a bunch of drunks, none of that craziness. It's a good time. Not to say you can't have like 4 beers, but you know, we don't get nuts. We talk about technical stuff. That's what we do. That's how we roll. All right. So, trying to get this stupid thing to run. Let's see here. We'll do file. And what does that make us do? Oh no. Framework Go test not available on any file ends, whatever the hell that means. So program arguments, take that away. Back on package, let's see what it says. No, it's still not going to run on that one either. So if we do directory, it acts like directory is okay. Can I do on directory kind run configurations? What? Well, that's super annoying. Let's try to look up Golang test all files in directories or in project even. Testing Go, find simple tricks, writing unit testing Golang, da. Okay, none of this stuff. Oh, not Golang, Goland. Run all tests. Alright, there's got to be more info about this. Huh. Well, maybe we'll just do it via the command line for now. This is pretty good though. Go list. Wonder what the list part is. Oh, I see. Let's throw that in there. Put it in here and we'll just have a... Can we just run a command? Let's do this and we'll just call it test for now. Like that. We're going to add this one, and we'll look at the differences here. So, oops, let's add a shell so it gives us the header, the appropriate bash header. Alright, so that's going to run all the tests, which is similar right now to this, right? Which means run all the tests that you find in the subdirectories of the primary project directory. But this grep vendor-v thing is if we add a dependency, which we'll do in a minute, it'll still be able to run and do all of that stuff. So error running test executable is not specified. Oh, that's because, let's fix it. Sudo chmod 700 test.sh. Alright, there we go. So test. Yeah, there we go. So that covers it. See? And it's going to leave out the vendor directory, so whenever we pull dependencies, it won't try to execute all of that stuff too. Get this fixed. And then we'll bounce back into the big desktop. Make some progress. I don't know why it still shows an X. How annoying. I do want to get this to work because there is an interface that has all sorts of features and capabilities, which comes in really, really handy. So we'll get that to work later. I've gotten it to work before. I'm missing something. I can't think of what it is right now. Whew, coffee is still hot. I tell you, this is so. Slate Coffee Roasters is a coffee roaster here in Seattle. It's probably one of the better coffee roasters in the city. This, however, is a aluminum can. And they just printed their stuff on it, but it's got a top like this, keeps things hot. And this coffee is like an hour old, and it's still legit hot. Like if I can't drink too much of it at a time because it's just too much heat. And then on top of that top, there's the sealed top that you can add, and boom. Also, doubles as a defensive projectile. If you chunk this at somebody, that would be crazy. But yeah, so super awesome. Sorry, that's just Mississippi thinking. I do not suggest violence, except in response to violence. But that's a different story. All right, so we got this stuff running. We got build and run. I'm just gonna stick with our test bash file. Executable is not specified. Oh, did I re-break it? Let's get in here and see what it's saying. Oh, it needs the full path, I guess. Adrian, Learning Go episode 8. There's the file. Oh yeah, see, it just wants the whole shish kebab here. Temporary path. Nope, we don't have any environment variables. We are good. Let's run that sucker. What? What? Maybe we can do this and then test.sh. That's much cleaner. Arguments working directory. Oh, we probably need to do this too, maybe. Error running test. Executable is not specified. We just ran the executable. So, test. Okay, root has no test files. This has that one, and it's passing. It's okay. Oh, that is super weird. Let's just delete that for now. And then let's add a new one. And I'm going to go back in here. Pick the file. Here, make that our working directory. Oh, interpreter path. What is it? Bin bash. Oh, dee-do. There we go. That fixes it. Line 3. Go command not found. What? source -rc. Sometimes this IDE does actually piss me off. I don't know if we want to add, well, whatever. Okay, sticking to the command line here because blah. I'm gonna have to send this to JetBrains and be like, check out this user experience. This is not what you want for everybody. Hopefully they can tweak it a little bit. Alright, so anyway, we have these two tests, right? We're good. They pass. We have an awesome palindrome function. Meanwhile, back to the code 5 hours later, it seems like. Let's see here. Let's oh, here's another function they have, which is interesting. Let's do func test French palindrome. Okay, and again t testing t and then the thing here. So if not is palindrome, we're gonna go with let's see here, how do we get this French été? What? Right, I meant this. Yeah, there we go. Copy. Yeah. Okay. If that, then p.error is the hell. Let's just do this since we're using the same goofy message format. Yeah. Okay, and if we run this, we should get. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because it's just effing broke. Is palindrome. Whoa, that should pass though, right? Yeah. It's making me curious how this code is actually executing. Right? So we've got detartrated, kayak, and ete. It. Is palindrome at false? Weird. One of those characters is different, or it doesn't even read the character. Okay, so if I change it to that, what do we get? Huh. So it doesn't like those French characters. Let's see here, I'm going to put it to do fix for French characters like this. Okay. F. Oh. So another thing the book brings up is going this route. Func test canal palindrome T pointer testing T. So, and then we got input equals a man, a plan, a canal, Panama. Okay. And then if is palindrome. Oh, messed that up. Palindrome. And then input. We do t.error which is kind of like printf, so that's important to note. And then we'll just say is palindrome is Palindrome. And then we'll put in Q like so. Equals false. Input like that. Okay. First test. Yeah. Okay, so let's actually run go test. See everything. Now, one of the things you can also do is you can pass -v, and it's going to break down the test, right? Bloop. So there we go. Go test just gives you a rolled up list of everything that has happened. And this one says, it shows you, see this, the past one, the other past one, the other past one, and then of course the failed one. Here it just shows you the roll up with the single fail, because that's the theory, you know, you need to just go fix that one. So let's see here. Flag. Okay, so what we need to do is fix that Unicode. Let's fix the Unicode real quick. Go back to Word. Go in here, and we'll say bar letters rune. Four underscore R range S. And then if Unicode is letter R rune, we'll do letters equal append letters Unicode. Spell it wrong. Unicode, there we go. To letter, to lower R. Right? Yep. And then change this to be letters. Let's change this to if letters I is not equal to letters length of letters minus 1 minus I. And we can return false just like we were. So a little refactor there adds in the what am I doing here? What's wrong? Oh, I don't need rune. That's what I read. That's what I get for typing the where'd the Docker update go? There was a Docker update, I mean. Thanks for the follow, Zian War. Glad to have you in the mosh pit. Oh, and hey, Michael Jolly. I'm a little slow there. Just noticed you bounced in. Oh yeah, but yeah, it seems like Docker always pops up for me like that too, where I'm in the middle of doing something. That or just updates, whatever. I wish there was a more effective way to synchronize all that junk. All right, so that should, let's see what we get. Oh, I keep clicking that like it's gonna run. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We get all that, and then let's do our new thing. Go test. Oops. Test. -v. And look at there. We got all of them. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All less than 100th of a millisecond, right? So super fast execution. It says 0.002, so I guess it adds up to what, 2/1000ths of a millisecond. Pretty fast. I like fast tests. I hate slow tests. Makes me go read more Twitter when I have slow tests. you know, and that just sucks because you're trying to get something done and you're like, oh, I got to run my test. 5 minutes later, you're in the middle of Twitter. Your test might be done or not. You don't know. You started reading Twitter or some crap, or you know, you went to a meeting or to get a coffee or whatever. I'm always trying to battle through that crap, especially being ADHD or whatever they told me I was. I just mostly ignore that crap. Keep rolling. All right, let's hear it. Oh, and they got some other stuff here. We also write a more comprehensive set of tests, mods on the previous ones, and other new ones into a table. Oh yeah. Let's do that. All right, this is a good thing here. Let's pull the test back up and look at actually right now like a table structure to get all these tests, get more tests covered, right? So test is palindrome, because in a situation like this, you want to throw a bunch of stuff at it, right? You don't want to just arbitrarily, you know, like if this is a little bit more complicated function that actually did some stuff besides, what does it say? Or you stop running the test. Oh right, yeah, exactly. Or you stop running the test. Good call, Medical. Yeah. Well, 10,000 cases? No. That should still be nowhere near 10 minutes. That should be like 10 seconds at the most. Mad cow. Oh, I guess, I don't know. I would say that weird, interesting. Okay, Mad Cow. Got it. You are Mad Cow. I'm one to argue that if tests are taking 10 minutes, they're not broken down to the level that they really need to be. Now, if it's integration test, emphasis integration, right? If it's integration test taking 10 minutes, all right, I can see that. You got latency. You got things that are happening. You know, loading a database, dumping out a database. But if it's actually a unit test, is testing a unit of work, kind of like these here that I'm writing. 10,000, a freaking million of them should just take seconds still. But the minute we go outside of that, and I'm not making an argument for integration tests, I'm not making an argument against them, just saying that if it gets into the multi-minutes, then, whew, yeah, like I'm not running them. I'm not running them on my machine. Oh, like Mad Cow just said, you know, it shouldn't be local, they should be in CI. I agree. They should be on the system build. They should be running at an integration level. They should not be bothering me. I should be able to run a test or a multitude of tests on my section of code to be able to continue to move safely in making refactoring and some changing things. If I can't do that, then I want tests, A, and B, if it takes 10 minutes for every little change, then the product is in trouble. The product is in big trouble, right? I mean, companies have died because they can't test their stuff, and every change, like, you know, oh, I need to change a font or a word or an entry form, and it takes 3 weeks to do. Companies have died because of this. This is completely unacceptable. Like, it needs to be better than that. But of course, as developers, I understand we all get lumped in with whatever it is we got to work on. So sometimes you just have that crap to work on. But anyway, I'm writing out this test for everybody. So var tests, and I'm putting it in chat. Hit to either save file or commit time. Yes, exactly, Mad Cow. Exactly. I'm 100% with you. Got your back on that one. Okay, tests. Struct. Not in the thing. Come on, IDE. Struct. There we go. Okay, input string, and then want bool. Notice now, this is an example from the book, okay? And you'll notice that something is already happening here. We're adding logic of statement to the test. Okay, input string. want. What do we want? We want a bool result. Okay. So we're starting to add some of that, something that I don't feel that the Go tests really encourage, but we'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's get this one written, and then we'll start to get into some of that stuff actually. So true. We'll just get one here first to start with, and then add one more. A. Want. There I go, typing what's in the autocomplete again. True. And then AA. True. And then we'll get at least one false in here. AB. False. Right? Oh yeah, we've got to have a trailing comma, because that's how Go rules. And then we'll have for this test, the range of the struct tests as such. The struct array, I said struct, but it's a struct array. There we go, and then if got is palindrome test.input got not equal to test.want. We do the error format is I just cannot type this word, palindrome. And why is palindrome not a palindrome? Shouldn't it be a palindrome? It seems like it should be. And test input got. See, again, there's that statement identifying what's actually happening, so it's readable code, so to speak. So in the test here, let's actually go in my little script file, and we're going to add -v. Hey, Fletcher Codes, thanks for the follow, and welcome to the code pit. I think in the future I'm going to do a whole show where I just talk like this. Just to see if I can actually do it and not become hoarse. It's going to be like a challenge. Or I'll speak with an accent the whole time. Which would be horrible, but also hilarious. Alright, so that's good. We got that working, but let's actually add a few more. I'm so good at buying books, but never. Yeah, welcome to that club. There, you know, that's the book club here, right? Getting books, bunches of books, and not reading through them, right? So here, just to give you all a reference, I'm going to show you some stuff. So these are all books that I'm trying to work through on stream, in blog entries and other things, and like elaborate on, right? To give tips, tricks, and all that kind of stuff. There's the Bash book. Great little mini book. It's a pocket reference, see? Bunch of cool Bash stuff in here. I've even learned a ton from it, and I've been slinging Bash for like, well, let's just say longer than I even want to really imagine. It's been freaking forever, right? And then my buddies Luke Perkins and Eric Redmond, along with Jim R. Wilson, wrote 7 databases in 7 weeks, which I am modeling my bunches of databases and bunches of weeks sessions off of. I have to admit, I've only gotten through like a couple of things in this book, and I'm already kind of frustrated, right? Because I haven't gotten as far as I want to get. But I'm going to be covering more and more of it on the channel, just like I currently, with the bunches of databases and bunches of weeks sessions. We got SQL Server, Postgres, Apache, Cassandra, and Elasticsearch covered already. I want to add more to that, but I'm kind of trying to flesh out and finish up more elaborate usage of those things before moving on. And then, of course, I got a lot of diving in to do with this, but you can see I've got a bookmark because I've actually read the whole book like 3 times. I have edits, changes for the newer versions because Apache Cassandra 4.0 is out now. And then there's other stuff that's unrelated. Everything from this book, Ta-Nehisi Coates, We Were 8 Years in Power. That's kind of interesting. And then Sons of the Prophets, which is a history of Seattle. And let me tell you, this place, once you learn the history, you're like, oh, that's what's wrong with everything. People were crazy. And then I got this Scandinavians book because you don't ever really hear that much about them, except when Scandinavians were Vikings. They've done a lot of stuff since, just FYI. And then Terraform up and running. Got a lot of Terraform I want to cover. Crazy amount of Terraform. And that's just the books on my desk that I haven't read, except like maybe a chapter in each of them, or 5 chapters or something. But I haven't read all of them. It's a lot of work to do. So, yep, like I was saying, right there with you, Fletcher. Let's see, I want to get kayak in here. Kayak. And then want true, or should say expect true, right? See, and that's the thing. Let's change up some of this. Expect true. Let's input got want dot expect. Do I have a list of those books in text? No, but would it be cool? Do you want me to just? I can send them to you. I'm more than happy to send them to you, Mad Cow. Some damn good books, honestly, and really, like, I don't really sit on a particular political spectrum, except everywhere, and that's some good books to read for being versed on all sorts of stuff, and of course, the technical stuff is awesome. But yeah, I'll get them out here in just a second. I'll write them up. Let me write up a little bit more of this test. I gotta stop writing the autocomplete stuff. That's not helpful. And then, so then we got detartrated. That's true. Detartrated. Yeah. And what else did we have? We had ete should be fixed now because we added the Unicode. So let's do. I'm going to actually remove these, or no, I'm going to leave it up there anyway, because they're still good examples. You know, they're working code, and this session is about learning. It's not about writing the most perfect code ever. Learn it first, then worry about getting it perfect. So anyway, got a bunch of stuff there. Oh yeah, and the other thing is desserts. I'm gonna add that one, and I'm gonna actually add it in there. False. That's a fun one to play with for other reasons. Because when you flip around desserts, you get stressed. There we go. So let's run the test. And we should have everything passing. That is beautiful to see. We're up to 0.003 thousandths of a second there. So things are getting a little slow because we just have so many tests. Alright. Randomized testing. Yeah. So, emphasis in the book is brought up. And I gotta say, I'm big on this one too. Let's see here. Yeah, so, randomized testing. When you do unit tests, you want to be able to randomly execute the test, right? You don't actually want them to be in order. If you do them in order, you inherently build in to your testing ways that you will write code that is expected to execute in an order, and it most likely shouldn't. And then you will get errors of your tests because things won't be tested in isolation. That's the key there, right? You want them to be able to test in isolation to prove out that that particular unit of code works and isn't actually relying on all these other criteria. Now, if you do want to do an ordered test, scenarios come up for that too, but that is kind of tending toward perpetuating fragile code, and that can be an unfortunate situation. Also, if you're expecting other things to be in place, is it a unit test at that point? Or are we talking about, at that point, we're kind of stepping into the integration realm, right? Because we're taking different chunks, different abstract tiers of stuff, and expecting something to be in place when it may not be in place. But if we are expecting that, then we are really kind of stepping more into integration test versus unit test. And that needs to be treated in a very different manner. So let's hear randomized tests. Let's look at the example that they have here. We're at, oh yeah, okay. Randomized test. Actually, do I want to run a randomized test? I don't know. Testing a command. Oh, here's a cool one. Actually, let's jump to this. We're gonna skip the randomized test thing. Just note what we just talked about. Important. But we're gonna step into the let's test a command test. So here we have main, right? We wrote this stuff in it, but we're gonna actually knock this out. Okay. Yes, mutation testing is super rad and super helpful. One of the things to note in Go. So right now, notice this is called. And you saw me just go into main.go and I deleted the code, right? So no code in the actual application calls the function, right? So if we're writing tests, we need to also be privy to the fact that we may write a test that calls a function, and then in the actual application, we may stop calling the function. And if that's the case, we now have dead code that's still executed solely because of the test. So cleaning up tests for stuff that doesn't actually get called anymore is important. And your IDE can't tell you anymore if the test code actually calls the function. So making sure to go through and prune the tree of tests that you have is extremely important in Go. Because otherwise, like right now, for example, if I don't call Palindrome in the code base, what's the point of having Palindrome and the unit test, right? Of course, this situation is duh because it's sample code. But in a real application, you don't want a bunch of dead code just sitting around everywhere, because then people have to waste cycle time reading it and then figuring out what the hell it does and then realizing, oh, it doesn't do anything and I just spent 3 hours figuring it out. Total waste of time. So, okay. We are going to add in some little stuff here. Test. How does he get this set up? Okay, we're going to write a test that will call echo with a variety of arguments and flag settings and check that it prints the correct output in each case. So let's do that. All right. So we're going to start off with var and set that up. In equals flag dot bool in false omit trailing new line. All right, and then s equals flag dot string. Oh, come on. What's up? String. There we go. S. I would figure that the IDE would help me on that, but I guess not. Well, I guess I have to hit enter when it auto-completes to do it right. So on this one, I should get bool. There we go. Hit enter, and yeah, okay, it fixed it that time. And this one is flag string separator. No. Well, fix it. Separator. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, so we got those two values in variables and var out io.writer equals os standard out, and then and I'm putting these in the wrong place. These actually need to be outside of main, like here. All right, there we go. And note again, added my imports for me. Love that. Flag.parse, and then if echo not in asterisk s flag arguments error is not equal to nil. Do format.f print f. Be it there doesn't go have some kind of linter that tell you if a function variable is not used. Yes. So it does. Like if I well, yeah, like I think, yeah. See, it says unused variable, right? So that's the go linter in effect. But I added that because I'm going to add it below, or use it below. I mean, probably it can be used externally, right? So yeah, if the method is exported, then I'm not sure the context for that. I really like how Go reduces dead code with all of its checks. Yes. Except the fact that, like I was saying, if you have a test calling it, then it's going to show active. So you got to have another way to clean up that. You can't just use the standard linter for it. Format printf. It's kind of the same thing as if you just print out output all the time to test things, then you call everything in your app, even if it's a variable that's useless. So you don't always want to. You want to write tests. You don't always want to just printf everything out, but at the same time, you probably want to print out a lot of stuff as you're working to verify that it's acting as expected. So there's that, out, and whoops, return nil. Okay, there we go. So unhandled error. Oh yeah, well that's gonna be fine for now. And then too many arguments to return. Weird. Okay, let's keep rolling for the moment. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong code here. So let's see. I got that. Yep. Okay. And then we want to say format.f print f os.standard error. And then echo %v/n error. Okay, so that'll basically just spit our error out, right? And we then want to exit, not executable. There we go, os.exit 1. Yeah, it looks good. All right, now func echo new line bool. Separator, string, args, not sargs, args, there we go. Alright, they're doing that again. String. And then our output is going to be an error. And our function body begins, let's say format f print f out. Thank you for the follow, Peter Ilyik. I think I said that right, or maybe not. Welcome to the mosh pit. Out, yeah. The strings dot join. Oops. Join args separator. And if we're in a new line, we're gonna print that sucker out. Format.f f print f. Actually, I just need a line, and we'll do the out. Come on. Move your spaces right. Return nil. Oh, I missed the period. Right, so strings.join. Args separator. New line. Print it out. And return nil. Right? That looks correct. go to build and run. We'll do this. I did fat finger something. Is that 21-3? Format. Let's try that one. Awesome. Next time, indeed. I gotta get a cool mosh pit graphic, like just a bunch of people jumping into the mosh pit. Yep, Xenwar, you got it. I got that one so wrong. Alright, looks like we're rolling. We got a good build. So now we want to test this puppy, right? So let's get in here. And it's always a challenge testing console stuff. Because it's a weird... Well, it's a weird situation because you want to test it from the console, but you just kind of want to call the function, right? So anyway, we're going to do that. We're going to get some of this done here. Echo test dot. Just like that. Add that puppy. Alright, so that's in here with main. So I could really just call this file. Let's do that actually. Refactor. Where's my... Oh yeah, I have to do this. Renaming files is hard. There we go. So that kind of there puts it next to it, which I wanted to do. I'm going to add that to the commit. Yep. Now we're going to have func test echo t asterisk testing dot t as always, and then break into that. And let's see here, var tests equal struct braces with stuff I don't want because I don't want a bracket. New line, bool, separators, string. Oh my god, what is it doing? Bool. There we go. Okay, the separator, string, args is an array of strings, right? Array of string, and then want something string. Alright, now for the second part of our struct array, we're going to go with true and nothing there, string braces, new line, right? And here we'll go with, let's say, false. String. Let's go with spaces for that one. And then for the next one, we're gonna do a true expectation. We'll go with /t. Tab, and then string. Let's go 1, 2, /t3, and let's do /n there, and then in this we'll put 3 values, which will be 1, 2, and 3. Alright, let's work with that for now before we add any more craziness to our funky wonky test. Alright, so now step through the tests, the test range of tests. Alright, and then we're going to have a description. Should be format dot sprint f echo p q and q test dot new. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, there went all the gray matter. test dot separator and test dot args, right? I feel like something's missing. What is this? Too many arguments for a format string. Oh, that's why it flaked out. Period args. Oh my god, this song has come on again. It's freaking me out because... Okay, this is unacceptable. Which one is it? Floor plan. How do I delete this? How do I kill this song? Floor... Man, there it is. And then I can delete it here. Open Canadian unqueue. Go to the next one. Oh yeah, there. Deleted that song. That song is way too much U2 for me. I can't deal with that. It's just too no, it's not okay. It's not okay at all. All right, now back to the task at hand. Since we got over the U2 chipperness. Oh, I deleted my brace tonight. Yep, okay. Keep that brace there. Go back over there. Whatever. All right, so now we want to do out equals new bytes dot buffer. So that basically captures our output, right? And then if error is raid. The raid alert worked. That's the first time I've been raided in ages. Hello, Robert Tables. I hope your hardware hacking was super badass. We're just in here. What are we doing? I'm completely distracted now. I'm drinking coffee, like usual. Good Slate coffee. Been burning my mouth on it because dingbat. Ancient Coder, thanks for being part of that raid. We just built a keyboard and it worked first try. What? Your keyboard worked? Dude, I've never soldered anything in my life that worked first go. Good God. We finished building a keyboard and it worked. That's just, you just blew my mind. Blew my mind. So yeah, we're in here writing Go, going through testing, looking at like the core library, core Go capabilities around testing. And I'm hoping to very soon, right after I wrap up this Go CLI testing, to Nightshade dude, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Yeah, I hope to. I'm gonna pull up some of the other libraries that are good at stuff for different techniques of testing, because I know everybody don't want to use the Go testing. It causes a lot of dissension among the ranks, including myself. Like for instance, here, I see we got test echo, and I'm creating this struct array to basically step through a bunch of tests, right? So like this section of the array, i.e. the value, is passing in new line, a separator, arguments, and what I want as a result, right? And this is a fine and dandy way to test, but like if you look at that right off the bat, it kind of reads weird. You don't really know what your expectation is, like what. So my want is my expectation, and it's just it's super weird. Pac-Man Jr., welcome to the Mosh Pit. It's growing. The Mosh Pit is getting big. I love it. There's two things now that you're here, Robert Tables, that one, unrelated to this, but we're gonna get right back to the Go here in just a second. GMM, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. CakeJS, everybody, welcome to the pit. The pit's getting huge. You know, like, I hope we don't break the table that we're all sitting at, though. Right, Robert? So I need to get some screens set up, which I think I'm going to do on a stream slightly after this one, after we write some Go. But I want to get some of the screens set up you have, like for the, was it where you go get your second cup of coffee, right? So you leave, you come back. And also, I've been looking at stock footage and figuring out how to do some of the Adobe animation stuff to have like cool background stuff moving while I'm coding and talking and doing other stuff. But also got a lot of other show ideas too, which I'm gonna ping you about, and we should talk about those show ideas and all the cool stuff we can do. But also TwitchCon. We should talk about TwitchCon. It seems like we might be building a crew to go to TwitchCon. We might have a mosh pit at TwitchCon, which would be super badass. And it's in San Diego. San Diego's pretty cool. Hey, look at that. Got some more follows. Welcome to the pit, everybody. Or maybe just the alerts are late. I don't know. One or the other. Alright, so back to where I was at. So writing out this thing so it loops through, right? If error echo. Oh yeah, I need to make a call here for the signature. Test dot new line, and then test dot separator. And I've also been having a lot of problems typing periods and hitting the right keys today, which is always super rad. Mampersat, welcome to the pit. Let's see. And test dot args. Then, yep, that's good for that. So then we want to do error bang equals nil, i.e. not equals nil. And then what is up with my, oh, this thing is still, go back over there. There we go. Now it's readable. So if, and then t dot error f format, and we want to do %s failed %v or format verb description and an error. All right, and then continue, because we want to run all the tests, right? We don't want to just bomb out on one error. And then it's your got dot pointer to our output here, bytes dot buffer, and then I'm gonna dump it to a string because that's how we got to work with it. And then got is not equal to test dot want, i.e. if we didn't get the result we wanted, then error f %s equals %q want %q description what is that? Oh, derp, I'm putting it on the wrong side of the damn thing here. Description, and then got test dot want. There we go. And GF Zop, Goof Zop. How do you say your nick? It's here. There's Mampersat, Gmim, and Goof Zop, and Cake.js. I'm just calling you Cake.js, right? Give me a pronunciation guide if you want me to say your name a certain way, and I'll do it. I'll endeavor to do it. All right, let's hear it. Do I have any? No squigglies, so this is looking solid. So basically, one thing to note too, in main, this you're never really going to test, right? It's your entry point into the application. If your application builds and starts, it's covered, right? But what we're doing here is we're testing this, which is what's handling our CLI type of thing here, right? As it's parsed. So in a way, I shouldn't even call this main test go, but really what I should do is I should move this out to a thing, and let's do that. Let's use the refactor tool here, so we'll move. And we'll echo, yeah, echo is gonna go out. We're gonna put it in file echo in package main. Yep, that can be fine. So there we go. So now we have an added file called echo, and we have that function in there, right? And main now is just the main function again, instead of a bunch of other stuff. All right, so we're gonna do that, and then close that word one. We don't need that anymore. So that's where our echo is, and now main can actually be renamed more appropriately to what the book told us to start as, but didn't really detail what I'm detailing right now. We'll just call it echo test to more closely reflect the file, and so then it also gets listed like this. You'll also see in the IDE, word underscore test and echo underscore test, both are highlighted in like a different color, right? With this particular theme, it's dark green or whatever. And that just shows that those are test files. They're seen as test files, and they're going to be executed with go test. They also will not be included into the build when you do go build. So, you know, you got all that stuff separated out appropriately. I think Robert Table's name is a reference to XKCD, because I have seen more than a few things where he's got like Robert Boppy tables, right? Yeah, that's such a freak. It's one of the best ongoing comic strips ever. It still manages to be timely in so many ways. Love it. All right, so I'm almost scared to do that. That was so much code to type at one time. It's almost like your keyboard, man. I don't know if this is gonna work, so we're gonna try though. Test. Oh my god. Oh my god. Did I just type all that and it worked? Yeah, test palindrome, test palindrome, and test echo passed. Sweet. Yeah. If I was still 15, I'd give you a falsetto Queensryche scream for that one, but not anymore. Imperating. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the pit. Cool. So with that done, so I'm just looking through, seeing what else real quick. External test packages, writing effective tests. There's other details in here in the book, and they're definitely worth looking at and picking apart. But the next thing I want to do is actually delve into Golang test. Let's call it libraries, and then let's take a look at some of what we can find here. Exploring the landscape of Go testing frameworks, BDD testing framework for Go. That's cool. Another test framework here, testing Go, The 10 most imported Golang packages. That looks like it could be useful. So let's scroll through that and see what we see. What do we got here? 10 most important. Testify. Oh, these are going to link me to this. I bet these are going to pop up anyway. Yep. So I'm going to close these and just go from this one. So Testify. And here's a link for that. Whoops. Damn it, hell. My bidirectional stupid copy pasting is not working now. So if I copy here, and then I copy. No? No? Oh, it makes me rage. Anyway, we're going to put that in notes over here. And, oh, go away, updates. We don't need you right now. Alright, so testing libraries. Here's the post we're working from. And let's scoot this puppy over here. And let's get this back up. And we'll put it over here. And then I love this feature. See how it synchronized them? Yeah. Alright, so I'm going to actually make this a bullet point. And then we'll do this. So let's hear testify. Kubernetes. Top 10 imported repos for testing. Top 10 most imported Golang packages. Something like, oh, I thought this was for testing. Damn it. Anyway, testify. What are some of these? Let's look at these real quick. Logging, testing. Oh, whoops, I went crazy here. We'll just pick the testing ones. So Ginkgo, log, oh, not Logrus. I'm not doing logging right now. Go Mega, Go Check, air handling, productivity. Cobra. We'll be doing more with that soon too. Alright, so with those covered and that copied. Alright, testify. What kind of coding does this give us? Tests for this. MPAA rating. Oh, so like you'll give me an R rating or an X rating or PG or something. Like the beginning of the show was G rated, but then we dived into R rating. I like it. So far, knock on wood, Robert Tables, stuff is just working today. I'm kind of freaked out by it. But anyway, we're going to keep plowing ahead and hoping that everything keeps working. VM stinks sometimes. What happened to VMs? I mean, I'm using a VM, but I feel like I missed something that you're talking about, Pac-Man Jr. But yeah, so you elaborate so I can know what's happening, and I'll answer questions or whatever. With the copy paste? Yeah, I guess so. Yep. See, I've already lost track of what's going on. Everything's working, y'all. Everything is flawless. Coffee. I feel like Slate should give me, $20 a mention, because it's awesome coffee. I mean, it's really good stuff. Let's hear. Okay, so testify. Thou shalt write tests. Go code, Golang set of packages that provide many tools for testifying that your code will behave as you intended. Testifying that your code will behave as intended. This sounds very court-like and legal. Since we're gonna put this in here though. It's like something worth doing. Install, testify one line of code, or update it with another. For an introduction to writing tests in Go, see blah. Check out our API documentation. Noted. To make your testing life easier, check out our other project, Gork. What is Gork? Let's get recursive here. Go recursive. Okay, not worried about that right now. It's interesting though. And then we have TDD. So I guess these are TDD based ones. Sizzly, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the Code Pit. Test something. Interesting. Look at these puppies. They're kind of cute. So now we can have asserts instead of other junk. So let's actually put that into our code and see where we get. Let's see here. This is test something. Let's see. I'm just going to put it in as a Go file and say testing something. Well, actually, I shouldn't do that. I need to name it right. Something test add. And then let's take their whole code file and see where we get. Actually stick to main. Come on. Stop it. There we go. Whoa. What did it... So there's this one. Which one am I pulling in? I'm trying to pull in Stretcher, not Magic Con Air. So let's do that. And then let's copy that and then see what they do again. Let's save. No? Weird. Yeah, so it inserts another imposter library. So let's go with the one we're actually looking at, though. And maybe we'll dork around with Magic Con Air later. And then also one of the things I'm going to do is go back out here, dep init for dependencies. So I'm going to initialize the project for dependencies, and then we'll do dep ensure. And that will pull in the testify. So and also I'm going to get in here and do, oh yeah, good job finding the directory. Okay, that did do it. It's out of sync. I just added it, dummy. Oh, I ain't even messing with that. Get out of here. And let's do it again. So, dep init. Yeah, dep ensure. Imports there. To run dep check for details. What? Dep check. Dep ensure dash update. Status. Go spew. Go diff lab. What are those in there for? Weird. Just adding random stuff to my project. Whatever. Dep ensure. Ensure. Dep ensure. Okay, so this is a perfect time to point out also in my little test script file, so I don't have to type it every time. Note I added this. That is to prevent the vendor directory, this one, from having all its tests run, because it's going to have however many. I guess these dependencies are for testify, so it would run all the tests in those. So here's a test and da da da. So like I don't want to run all their tests. I'm going to assume, hopefully, with no real guarantees, that their code is solid and that everything's going to be hunky-dory. So if you're in doubt, of course, you can run their tests, but we don't really have to. We want to focus on what we are actually trying to build versus what the dependencies are pulling in. So with that, let's run test again. And test should grab everything. But what just happened? So, something test, undefined object. Ah. Oh yeah, because the sample isn't really executing executable code. Hey, Digital Drummer. Cheerio. Working through Go stuff, checking out our first non-core library called Testify. Sounds like a very court-like error legal structure system checking thing. It adds kind of a more TDD, test-driven development, oriented syntax to everything. Instead of the standard, like as you can see here, we're looking at one of the samples from the site. Assert.equal t, expected 123, actual 123, they should be equal, they should not be equal, assert.not equal, assert.nil. Good for errors, assert for nil, assert.nil. So t is good for errors. So that's where it's erroring out right now, because object isn't a thing. Good when expected something. So if it's not nil, if object is not nil, something object.value. Oh, so let's do this. Let's see if object equals nil. Can I do that? And then make object something. Object equals something. Oh, so let's say var object string object equals nil. Oh, can I do int? Wait, how do you assign something as nil? Why am I confused about this all of a sudden? Golang assign nil. Can I set nil the value? I could do a pointer function to nil. Yep. Okie dokie. Alright, going back to that. So sale. What is the box doing? Why is can I do that? No. I can't do that. Assign nil pointer. What's the syntax for it? Oh, I'm getting C now. That's not what I wanted. Golang assign nil pointer. So L link, like linked list there, or well, whatever, a node. Well, do you even want to? I don't know if that's actually a very good example at all. Now that I think about it. So like it's, oh, where's our code? There's our code. So here, if I say object is equal to, let's say turkeys. So that'll make it a string. Then I can make it something, right? So if I wanted to, I could go object equals, what do I do nil like this? I have to, wait, amber, this? There we go. Ah, very cool. So I feel like we were talking about hackathons. Oh, that was on Twitter earlier. Yeah, people were talking about hackathons on Twitter earlier too. And I was saying I always like to go to hackathons and kind of get good sleep in between, and I always feel like I'm rolling toward the end of the hackathon completely rested with working functional code while everybody else frantically does or doesn't have working code. Sleep is super rad. Does wonders. All right, so well, should that even work now? I don't even know. Let's test. Let's test. We have tests. Let's run the test. Bloop. Where's my? Get to the. There we go. Clear. Test. Hey. Well, we got some progress. Cannot assign to ampersand object. Okay. I'm taking that one out because I don't want to mess with it right now. I'll figure out the example later. But you get the idea from the example. So that's what gets us asserts. And what else do we get here, though? We get new assert.new t. Okay. Times use the below. What's the difference between that and? Oh, okay. We got a require package. What? Oh, and fail now. Oh, and they have a mock package. That's pretty cool. So we can do mocks. Type mock object. Let's see if we can actually get that in there and run it. Echo test, something test. We'll do mock test. New Go file mock.test. Add that. Get it here. Let's see what adds. Oh, import testing. And then I feel like it left out something still. It left out all my imports because I still need this import. So let's add that one for it since it's going to be missing it. It's going to flip when I do the ensure. Imports are not sorted. Well, sort them out. Sort imports. There we go. Okay. Occupy the process. Well, stop trying to run it while I'm trying to do something. My IDE is frustrating me. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we got our mock. Mock. Sounds like I'm gonna start singing a song. Mock. And then the mock is called do something number, test something. Test object is equal to new my mocked object is redeclared in this package. Oh, let's, because I'm still in main, something test. Do some basic TDD asserts. There we go. Now it's not redefined. And then test something else. Alright, let's run all those. Target func that does something with object undefined. These, I hate it when I get code like this that you can't just like have it work. So what does it say? Target func undefined. Oh. Target func that does something with object. Target func that does something with object. Well, let's see if we can create function. Yeah. Okay, and then we want to make it do something, right? For this sample, since we're doing the sample. It should work for both. So test.on do something mock anything, return true, error is nil, or error points to nil, whatever the okay, so we're gonna do test on target, name test object. Test object is the mock object. So let's say return we don't even, okay. So what should we do with the object? Any ideas, any thoughts? Let's hear, let's do object dot, what do we have on that? Test object, do something, mock anything. Equals cheese. Undefined cheese. Oh, yeah. Object.value undefined. Okay, so can't do cheese because as type mock object as assignment. Test is new mock object. New mock object. Func my mock object. Here's my mock object. Okay, mock. My mock object is a mocked object that implements an interface that describes an object that the code I am testing relies on. Right. do something as a method of, do you have course on JS? I haven't really been doing any JS yet, but this coming week is the second episode of myself and one of my coworkers, Christina. We are building an application against Apache Cassandra DataStax Enterprise database with the notion of enabling it to scale big. Like whatever we're designing, we're going to design it against the notion that we would have billions and billions and billions of sets of data in this distributed database. And we're going to build it all on JavaScript. So probably we're going to do a comparison on Thursday, I believe at 10 a.m. PST, something like that. I'll be posting the event on the DataStax Academy Twitch channel soon, probably early this coming week. But we'll be doing a comparison of React and Vue.js to see what we want to run with. And once we do that, we're going to start building it out a little bit from the user interface perspective, and then also delving in the subsequent weeks into the database side and building out the whole thing. I kind of hate to say it, but yeah, we're going to be going full stack in a very hardcore sense, because we're going to be getting into serious data stuff. So that is the JavaScript stuff that I will be doing in the coming weeks. I'll also be diving more into Node.js too, but currently I am not doing anything specifically. So this example is what it is. I don't know what I need to do with the object though. I'm a little confused. So create an instance of our test object. Yeah, sure thing. How do you say your name? Guxanu, Guayanu 97, Guayanu, something like that. Hey, thanks for the follow. And yeah, I will be, like I said. Oh, goes in you 97. Okay. So yeah, I'll be posting that here. Get an event up, and it'll also be on the DataStax Academy channel. So, thanks for the follow. Let's see here. So create an instance of our test object. Did that. Set up expectations with a placeholder in the argument list. Mock anything. So can I just do like object dot? Can I just call the object mock? Can't do that. Object but not used. Yeah, I don't really know what I need to do there, but okay, we're gonna leave it as is. Let's look at some of these other libraries. I want to get into some of the other stuff. So this definitely looks like a good one though. Oh, and here's the suite variable that should start at 5. Huh. Okay. That gives you some more options of how to dig through and test. So that's good. Installation. Oh, and there's the various things. They deprecated HTTP, so won't look at that one. So then there's Ginkgo. Let's look at Ginkgo. I'm gonna kill this mock test because I'm just not gonna make it work right now. Boom. And this one package was present. Yeah, okay. How's our test? Okay, so we got all working tests right now because I want to keep it green. Come back to it. All right, Ginkgo. Ginkgo is a BDD, behavior-driven development style Go testing framework. These docs are written assuming you'll be using Gomega with Ginkgo. And hello, potato quality. I swear, Twitch nicknames are the best. Welcome to some Cajun stream from this side of the pond. Just looking at some unit test frameworks in Go today. Heyo, back at you. Let's see here. What time is it over there right now? We're offset 8, right? And you're in. Yeah, glad you're here. I got Robert Tables and a whole crew. Robert Tables barged in with a raid right into the middle of the mosh pit. Super rad. Oh, okay. So off 9. 9 for me. Okay. That sounds right. It seems like I'm always talking to either that part of the world for the rest of my work crew, a bunch of friends there in Scandinavia, Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany, or London too. Got to include London. Hey Zinjin, welcome to the pit. Or I'm either talking to like the East Coast here or the West Coast here. It's like those are the 3 time zones. That's 98% of all my communications. Okay. So if I ever try to communicate in the other 2 time zones in the US, I always get the times wrong. I always schedule them wrong, I get the times wrong, I'm always messed up. So just forewarn everybody, if you're out in the middle parts of the country, I'm going to get your time confused. Packages for the code, so let's hear it. Ginkgo and GoMega. Was GoMega? Oh, here's GoMega. What is GoMega? Ginkgo's preferred matcher library. Oh, okay. So this goes and does matching? Just matching? Oh, and it does XUnit style tests. That's pretty cool. So you have an expect, right? Something to be true. Farm should have a cow. I mean, okay, come on. A farm doesn't have to have a cow. It could have like a horse, or it could have chickens, or whatever. You know me, I gotta be pedantic. Whoa, what is that ohm symbol? Actual to your assertions look like this. Okay, so this is the GoMega with XUnit tests, and then using GoMega with Ginkgo here, handling errors. Do something hard. That's funny. Have occurred. Should be foo bar or whatever. Okay. Then annotating assertions. Yeah, see, I love how this writes out when you're doing BDD, XUnit style, and all these other test styles. I think I'm much happier with that than the default Go stuff. So here we got expect actual to equal expected blah, the message, right? Since you get to pick which time they want to stick with. Is it? Oh yeah, I know. But it kind of follows their little pattern thing anyway. I mean, I still think we should just like pick a UTC or whatever and stick to that. But I also think we should fix the calendar time and just call day cycles whatever and put, I don't know, it's all a mess. All time is a mess. Oh, and the fun thing, Robert Tables, too, is like, I think Washington is on the verge of getting rid of daylight savings time. I think Arizona got rid of daylight savings time. So it's just a time in whatever that time zone is that they're in, period, right? Like the time never changes anymore. So then that means they can be +1, ±1, or +2, depending on, you know, what time of the year it is and stuff, in comparison to the rest of the states, right? So talk about adding fuel to the fire of chaos there. Let's see here. All right, but this assertion, sprockets shouldn't leak. That's true. Adjusting output, making asynchronous assertions. That's kind of a big deal. All right, so GoMega. I'm definitely putting GoMega on this list of badass, awesome testing frameworks. So where's our little? Oh, I still have this stupid thing open. I hate it when I keep opening this and get it. I want it in Visual Studio Code. There we go. Okay, much better. Hey, all you Visual Studio Code users, how do you make the left-hand Explorer go away? Like, I just want the text file. Like, how do you minimize it and make it go away and then come back? Like, I did this. Nope, that's not doing it. If I just hit the shortcut key, it doesn't do it. Control B. Oh my God. Thank you, Robert Tables. Command B, yeah. Command B, Control B. Yeah, I hit Control B. I'm in Linux land right now, so. When Indiana did it, I don't think AZ ever jumped on board. I thought AZ did do it. What, Indiana doesn't have daylight savings time? I had no idea. So confused all the time. I just don't try to figure it out though. Alright, so we've checked out Testify and Ginkgo. Also, whoever designed these web pages for these testing frameworks, wow, kudos. They're beautiful. Take a look at that nice little ginkgo vegetable, leafy thing, whatever it is. And then GoMega has the Omega sign. So, super rad, super rad. And then unit test. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Alright, so we looked at these two, and then we got Go check. Rich testing for the Go language. Helpful error reporting to aid in some compatibility with Go test. Well, what is it? What does it do though? Benchmark integrated in the suite logic with fixtures, etc. Management. Oh, okay, so it combines Go test and benchmark. That's kind of cool. Suite-based grouping of tests. Richer test helpers. Multi-type comparisons, management of temporary directories, panic catching logic, proper counting of the successes, explicit test skipping, support for expected failures, verbosity flag, multi-line inclusion of comments, rounding checks on failure reports. I don't really know what that means. Fully tested. It manages to test itself reliably. Is GoMock related to Go check? Doesn't really look like it, but okay, I see how this works. Yeah, let's pull that one up too. What is it? GoLang, GitHub, github.com/golang/mock. Is that? Oh, so it's part of. Is it getting put into the? Oh. So this is part of the core lib? Oh no, you still have to go get it. It's just one of the like near maintained mocking libs, I guess. Okay. That's cool. Running mock gen. Building mocks. Test foo. Control go mock new controller. Building stubs. Nice. Okay. See, I'm gonna put that one in there too, because that looks good. Boom. And what's the other one? Any others anybody knows of? We'll go see if we can find some more things out there. It's like it's maintained by the Go team, but not yet part of main library packages. Yeah, I'd be curious if it gets pulled in. I would still like the main core lib to not use the default Go stuff, but I think the people that organize it either aren't really worried or vested that much in it, or B, they're probably happy with what's in there, so they're just not into messing with it. Oh, there's some codecs, Powerwalk, Signature, Slog, SDK Go, San Diego. Repo for San Diego crime data workshops. So considering TwitchCon is going to be in San Diego, I guess we should look at this repo, right? I mean, not really. I don't care. If you're actually worried about crime stats and you live in the United States, you're in the wrong place. Like, move. It's very easy for an American in the technology industry to like just leave the country and go a place where there's dramatically fewer crime stats. But it is interesting to look at them regardless. All right, let's see here. I think that's pretty much it for the libraries that seem to really pop up in those results. Go, test, framework, libraries. So we looked at those, and that was on the 10 list. Go with Go, language testing frameworks. What is your Go to test that? The Awesome Go. What is that website? That's weird. Then there's, Go testing in the browser. Labix Go check. Oh wait, I just looked at that. They're called Labix? Lab 9, maybe? Maybe not Labix? Maybe I'm using fixtures, adding benchmarks. Yeah, that is what we just looked at. So let's see here. Welcome to the laboratory. This individual is part of the canonical team. Gustavo Niemeyer. Yeah, more labby than lability. True. Oh wow, tons of projects. Juju, MGO for Mongo, Unix-like pipelines for Go, GoQML, Storm Object Relation Mapper, GeoHash. Oh, that's cool. Web service encodes longitude, latitude pairs in a compact form. GoCheck, testing library. That's what we just looked at. Oh, package for AWS. This individual is all over it. Getting it done. YAML support for the Go language. Interesting. And then outdated stuff. We want to look at your outdated stuff. Gustavo. Very cool. I'm gonna follow this person. Everybody should go follow this person. It seems like a awesome person to follow. Oh, look at this. I don't sign up. I got 50 million accounts already. Here we go. Following. Phone was bent because the cable started now. Pocket fabric issue accumulated in the connector over time. Interesting. That is a problem. I've actually had that problem too. So then blog, Google Plus. Dude needs to update and delete that Google Plus nonsense. Because, it's just not there. Then Go Convey supports Go native testing package. Neither the web UI nor the DSL are required. You can use either one independently. Terminal or browser. And then open your browser to localhost. Tests will run from the working directory on down. Okay. So it's optional. It's more expressive than that. So Brilliant Web. Pretty. Will be empty. Oh, it just runs the tests in a browser? Is that what it's doing? Yeah, no, seriously. Google Plus. So yeah, I guess this is a browser running thing. Expressive DSL. Oh, you convey that this thing and it either runs or it equals or whatever. Okay. That's an interesting one to look at. Describe tests with your own words, what your application should do. HTML5 desktop notifications. Oh, interesting. Had a let's go eat Chinese food request. That sounds like something that I need to go do soon. Yep, sorry. Had the little ding on the phone there. Had to check. But okay, so this is another one. Never ever seen non-technical business folks do anything with BDD. Non-technical. Yeah, me neither. I mean, not a lot. Not anything significant. I did write BDD tests for a while that did end up in a report. Like, we printed out the report that would state, like, you know how in the BD behavior-driven stuff, it states, like, this thing, expect, blah, 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 do thing, whatever. Like, we would print out the results to show that they worked and send that to the team. But the thing was the team was kind of technical, right? I mean, they weren't programmers, but they were portfolio managers, accountants, and things like that. So they understood logic flows, control structures, and things like that. I mean, they were effectively programmers in some sense, but not programmers. So technical but not technical, hard to say. They loved the output, though. because it showed like, here's the business logic that we just implemented and the proof that it now executes. So it was a good way to give them immediate feedback in, like the things that they're trying to get us to implement. And we had a very fast paced, we were very proactive even, where they would give us a list and then we would create a little bit of stuff around that to make it even easier for them to do. Because a lot of the time, they didn't know what the power of the frameworks were that we were using or the capabilities of the UIs that we were building out. So that was one of the few places in an enterprise environment where we were actually ahead of request to some degree, like in the business use case sense. So that was pretty awesome. But we were also on the very clearly and called out for fastest team in the company. Like, we implemented stuff at a crazy rate of speed. Haven't seen it since then. But that's what happens when you luck out and you get a team that really works well together. It just makes it so much easier to get shit done and get it done well and get it done super fast. So I'm going to copy this in here like this in the notes. And also, per previous request earlier in the session, let's talk books just for a second, because I'm going to be wrapping it up in just a second. But, all right, first book, because I'm going to go backwards because I stacked them on the floor down below. So, yeah, first book. We're going to bounce over to here. Terraform, Up and Running. Okay, great book. It's by Yevgeny Brickman. It covers all sorts of stuff in Terraform, all sorts of stuff that's kind of like hacking tips and tricks too, around what you want to do on a daily basis, how you want to structure your code, how you want to structure your configuration, and all that kind of jazz. It's awesome. I was just gonna say, I bet Robert Tables would love this book if you haven't already read it. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I got it, and like, yeah, I've already dog-eared a bunch of stuff, or elephant-eared, whatever you call it. I've been through this book a million times. Super great. So that is Terraform, Up and Running. And then I got this book called Scandinavians, right? In Search of the Soul of the North. I got this book for one reason. Not a lot of stuff is written about Scandinavians outside of, hey, they were once Vikings once and they raided all of Europe and blah, 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 and they killed a bunch of people and shit. Scandinavians have done a lot of stuff outside of that, which is very interesting, and I wanted to learn more about it, so I got that book. And for perspective on reality around me, I got Ta-Nehisi Coates, 8 Years in Power. It's a very interesting book. It's about the lament of 19th century black politicians as the American experiment in multiracial democracy ended with the return of white supremacist rule in the South. Blah, 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 a whole bunch of stuff. But seriously good book. It'll introduce you to all types of things you probably didn't know were going on around you, especially in this country, because it's crazy. Oh, and then Cassandra, the Definitive Guide. Again, I know the author, Jeff Carpenter. He's on my team. He's the boss man. He's awesome. And then Eben Hewitt, I have not managed to meet Eben yet, but great book on Apache Cassandra and distributed systems in general, distributed databases in general. Gives you a good overview of that stuff, but also very specific, like deep dive into Apache Cassandra. And then O'Reilly Bash Pocket Manual, Pocket Reference. It's kind of a little bitty book, but it's concise, to the point. A lot of great stuff in there, like references for special prompt strings. There you go. Good stuff. And a lot of this material, I'm like kind of trying to do sessions on and all that kind of stuff. And I've been reading this book, Sons of the Prophets. And the reason I've been reading this book is this is the history of Arthur Denny and a couple of other fellas that came out here to Seattle in their 20s as young jackasses and founded the city of Seattle. They screwed it up a lot, and I was curious about like why there's all these various zoning and design problems to the way the city's laid out, and it's these people. They did it. Those guys did it. It's also interesting to learn about how the various tribes interacted with the community here in Seattle, because Seattle is named after one of the tribe leaders who was paid good money for that name. So it's interesting to learn about like where the craziness happened, where the bigotedness happened, where the like people being honest with each other happened between the tribes and Seattle and stuff like that. Lots of stuff going on. Pretty awesome. But the last book, again, some of my friends, Eric Redmond, Luke Perkins. Luke Perkins finished this latest edition of this book, 7 Databases in 7 Weeks. Eric Redmond and Jim R. Wilson did the first versions of it. Basically the thing, sadly enough, Luke Perkins and Eric Redmond and we all worked at Basho back in the day on the React database, which is still to this day one of the baddest ass distributed databases ever. But anyway, it doesn't really exist, sort of really exist anymore. Basho, the company, doesn't exist. The open source project still does, but iffy. It's written in Erlang, super wicked. But this book doesn't have React in it anymore. They replaced it with, I think, I don't know, DynamoDB or something like that. But it covers 7 databases, each one requiring about a week of time if you go through the book. And I'm actually doing that with the bunches of databases in bunches of weeks, where so far I've gone through Postgres, SQL Server, Elasticsearch, and Apache Cassandra for the day 1 part. And I'm expanding that, and I'm going to do a lot more with those. And I'm also expanding it out so that not only do I cover like basic stuff about the databases, I cover like how to do migrations and basically set your projects up so you can run smoothly and remove your database, completely drop it and wipe it out, and then recreate it and bring it back and restore and back up your data, and just do a lot of the maintenance stuff that you need to do anyway from the project perspective. So you have a lot of that taken care of. SQLite is in the pipe, Mad Cow. There's a few others that I had in the pipe that I've kind of procrastinated on, and I'll tell you why right now. But there's SQLite, which I love SQLite too. It's fun, it's easy to use, and it's so helpful being that little in-memory thing, right? But yes, SQLite, Redis. Oh, I think I forgot the other one. Oh, DynamoDB, Redis, and SQLite I want to cover. And out of those 3, though, I really only want to cover SQLite at this point. I have various feelings about where Redis is and what it's doing and where it's going. I have certain feelings and opinions about it being locked to core, and also where the licensing is. There's a lot of question marks around that. I feel like I need to find maybe another solution around there. But I am going to add more databases to the 4 that I've already covered and SQLite, and just going to get more into that. I've been using a lot of DataGrip, which connects to all these things: SQLite, Postgres, MySQL, Apache Cassandra, all that stuff. And it's a great tool, integrates into a lot of the JetBrains tools that I use. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. In code repos, doing all the stuff on GitHub, so everybody can check it out, contribute, offer issues, etc., and add into it like that. So, with that said, do you push? Yes. I VOD and then I archive to YouTube, because there's like the 14, 60 day, whatever day limit of how long something stays on Twitch. So I have Twitch and YouTube. On YouTube, it's the same shindig. If you go on YouTube and just type in Thrashing Code, you will find my channel. And I think it's down below the stream too, down wherever that stuff is. But yeah, so with all that said, I feel like we're at that important time of the day where I need to go eat Chinese food because I have a request. And we should raid somebody. Who should we raid? Anybody got some ideas? Where's my damn raid button? Oh, I have too many things open at one time right now. That's the problem. Raid button. Oh, there it is. I'm just on the wrong damn screen. Bloop. Alright, getting ready for raids. So the people that are in my queue... Oh, it errored out. That's beautiful. Someone in SciTech. Yes, I agree. We should do someone in SciTech. On Finkel, I gotta add them to my auto host. What else is going on? Oh, Sushi Codes. Who else is coding? Lucky number 11? Are they coding? Is anybody doing anything? Oh, James Montemagno. It says he's coding. It looks like he's coding. Let's go raid James. Does everybody know James? If you don't, he does, yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I think almost everybody here knows James. So we're gonna go raid James. Monty May. Oh God, am I gonna spell his name right? Raid James Monty Mag. Oh wait, I'm gonna copy and paste it because I'm a genius. Or her. Yeah, for sure. And I look forward to seeing your stream as along with Robert Tables and everybody else. Everybody have a great one. I am diving into the raid now. Everybody jump on board. Here's my awesome raid outro.